revolution.
Bookmarklets on standby.
Log online, fan page loaded and ready.
Player stats, loaded. Health check, go.
Weapons check. Eyes check. Complete.
We have launched for the Informant podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Informant Podcast, your new source for information regarding Mafia wars from Zynga. Pistol Pete from Stockholm.
Live long and prosper.
And tonight I have with me Chainsaw Chester, Jana, Death by Gucci, and Jennifer, the Mafia Wars loot lady. Okay, everybody, how's it going?
What's up?
What's up?
Everybody's here.
Yay, you got your wish.
The family reunion.
It
About
feels
damn
nice.
time, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's been too long. We can't let that happen again.
I know. Well, Pete was gallivanting all over America.
Yes,
I know. How'd
was.
that go? You made it home.
It was awesome. I went from sea to shining sea. I did Statue of Liberty to Santa Monica Pier,
Wow.
and then Vegas in between, and other stuff. So it's been quite the wild ride. Lots of stuff to see in the United States if you ever go looking. So
Was this like a National Lampoon's type vacation, or was it nice?
no, it was nice. Everybody had a good time. My family, I went back obviously for the wedding was what started it, and then I left from there and we came back home for 2 days, and then we left from there to Vegas for the conference that I had and the meetup. And and then I left there and I said, well, I'm only 5 hours away from the coast, so let's go to California. And I've got relatives out there. So we spent a day and a half with them. Went to Santa Monica Pier and went and saw the Malibu and all kinds of stuff, and then started coming back. And
Awesome.
so on our way out to Vegas, we got to see the Grand Canyon, the Petrified Forest, and just amazing sights that, if you ever get a chance to see them, they're worth seeing.
Yeah, there's lots to see in our own country.
Yep.
Did you see Yosemite?
I did not see Yosemite.
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 No, I went to dinner with Pete and his family and Mike Nestor. And Pete's family is so nice. And one of his kids was reading a sign about Yosemite, and he said Yosemite. It was really cute.
It looks like it. So
It does.
I can
Yeah, that's what we told him.
Yeah.
That's okay, because you like Zanga.
Yeah,
Zanga.
I always say that. No, but your family is really nice, Pete. Your wife
Thank
and
you.
your kids. They're very well behaved and they're funny.
But
You did good.
Yeah.
You did
Yeah.
good.
And your wife is really pretty.
I didn't do that.
You did all the work, I'm sure.
I know, I did that for him.
Oh, the truth comes out. So what else is up? Chester had a birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday there, Chester.
Thank you so much. That was, Wednesday?
Yep.
So,
And I forgot the most important thing we got to do when we were out in California. We ate an In-N-Out burger.
I know
Yes.
twice.
Twice.
I
Did you
reported
do
it
it?
as fast as possible.
Yeah. It was the first time I've ever had one. Well,
Now, was
second
it
time
any
that I had
good?
it. I enjoyed it, but it was not the best burger I ever had.
No, it's not supposed to be the best burger you ever had.
Well, there's
Good
lots
fast
of
food
people.
burger. That's what
Yeah.
it's there for.
Yeah,
But did you get sick?
No, I did not.
Okay.
But I
that's
can tackle White Castle and not get sick either. So there's
good.
something
Well, I
to be
don't know
said
how you
about
do that.
that.
Wow.
I can do that too, but hey, I can get a sack.
Yep. So, but no, it was very good. My family, my boys who don't normally eat hamburgers, they actually enjoyed it. I did get mine animal style, so that was nice.
Awesome.
Good for you.
Yep.
Make
My
Chester
prodigy.
proud. He's a proud papa.
There you go.
That I am. Well
He'll
done.
never convert
My
me.
Padawan.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah,
don't
get
eat
Jen to
meat
eat
at
one.
all.
$100,000, I'll consider it.
Shit. You probably had one, didn't even know it.
No, I haven't.
They told her it was tofu.
That's right. It's a veggie burger.
It's flavored.
It's a
like burger.
Vegemite sandwich.
Hey, you can get them. You can get them like the Flying Dutchman, which just comes with meat patties and cheese,
Mhm.
or you can get it as protein style, and they just remove the bun and put lettuce as your bun.
Oh, well, they have fat burgers in Las Vegas, and they have a veggie patty.
Oh.
Well, the fact that
Yes, that's
that
Bedford. Come on.
nowhere in the store when we went in, not to waste a lot of time on In-N-Out Burger, but the menu itself that was above the
That's what we
registers
do.
said nothing about
Yes.
animal style.
That's correct.
So I didn't even I would have never had any idea that there was another way to get it if it had not been for Chester making a comment one time about it.
He should be
Uh-huh.
their
One time-
spokesperson.
He should. Yeah, well, true. That's true, too.
They owe you
That
a lot
and
of money.
Logitech.
Yeah.
That's right. Now, did you get your coupon for a free angiogram?
Nope.
Sometimes you need that. Matter of fact, I went there for lunch today. So if anybody looked at,
I saw your
Latitude or whatever-
cubicle.
Yep. I went to In-N-Out for lunch today. Actually, it was very odd. I usually don't go for lunch, but some guy had never gone, so we went, and he's like, "That's a good burger."
You're all
it's
about converting people.
I am.
Yep.
I am an evangelist.
Well, so hey, Pete, what's up with Stockholm? Have you had any time at all to catch up?
I got back, and we kind of got hit with a lot of things because Zynga changed their domain name. What used to be facebook.mafiawars.com is now facebook.mafiawars.zynga.com.
Yeah, love it.
And we got about. I have to say to Nate that I appreciate him making a comment to us that was changing. Granted, it was 2 hours before it happened, which didn't allow a lot of time to fix it. But I am appreciative that he did at least give us some inside information, if you will, that change was coming. So we were able to, respond and get a lot of our Spocklets and stuff up and running very quick after the change had been made. So that was a plus. And then Ike and Martin still just doing some fabulous jobs with some of the Spocklets. The Assassinator has now gotten some new updates to it. It was having some problems with logging icing and stuff. That's been fixed. And then on top of it, the big thing that's kind of the news of the Assassinator is now we have what we call plugins. And I alluded to it on one previous show, but I never really got into much detail. And right now, if you go into the configuration of Assassinator, you can actually turn on stats history logging. So you can, while you're running Assassinator, go create data sets for your stats history based on, time periods. And it will, set those data sets for you. So when you go open your stats history, now you have those data sets that, you know when you were fighting and so on. And then on top of it, there's another plugin that is available the same way, which is a real-time stats history of what's going on in Assassinator. And you can turn those on just via the configuration button. And so, that's kind of big news for us as far as, potential for things in the future. The other thing that's coming out is, and you guys talked about it on the last show, I wasn't there is a Stockholm toolbar. And we haven't got it quite 100% yet, but it's going to be there any minute.
Nice.
So that'll be nice. And then I also alluded to in one of the previous shows I was on was the checklist. Version 2 is now out. And it's got some incredibly new cool features with regard to being able to create your own checklist items. And you can create URLs to different things. Ike wrote a blog post on Jen's blog about it, and one of the comments was an example of copying and pasting different snippets of code that people have written, or have decided were good things to have inside the checklist. And then now you can share those. And so, like our plugins for the Assassinator, I can see that these shared community, tasks, if you will, in the checklist will now start being shared amongst the community and will save a lot of time for a lot of different people.
I have a question on the checklist.
Sure.
Do you have to reinstall it? Because now when I click on checklist, it just says checklist version 2.0 by Team Spockwell, Pintware, Save the Click Monkey. And I can't get the checklist itself to come back.
Oh, it's not loading? Yeah, you probably want to... We did have to... When the domain name changed with Zynga, we also saw it as an opportunity to kind of consolidate some of our Spocklets. So you might want to go out and pick it back again off the Stockholm website, and then you should be prompted for a password. If you're using the version, of course, that's password, the server version, which most people do because then it moves with you whichever machine you're on.
Oh, I
Did
see.
you set your own up yet?
I was starting to set it up, and I set up a
Uh-huh.
few things, and then I went ahead and clicked it, and that part disappeared. So I
Oh,
wasn't.
okay.
Yeah.
Because
I
I
did
didn't
see where
realize
you could
you
configure
had
it.
to make your own. And I was the same way. I was like, what's so little? What's wrong with it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where's all my stuff?
First time, go to the configuration, start adding stuff to it. Yep.
Okay, I see.
Yep. And then I'm trying to think what else. The Leica boss is out there for the new combos. We've talked about that once before, but I won't go into the whole Raven problem again. And I tried one more time to see if I could beat him down, and I got about a quarter of the way through and wasted everything I had, including about 10 sniper shots, and I said, that's it. I'm finished with him. We are working on the final touches on the War Machine 3, the fight module, and there'll be some nice new features. When ICEs are logged for individuals, we're going to track activity and then be able to mark accordingly those people in the War Machine that are actively fighting. So you'll be able to actually find people that are actually, fighting at that moment in time. So you're not going to be wondering, only taking on people that are, not actively participating in the war. So that ought to be good. And then there is one other little thing that we've been toying with, and it's been in the lab for a long time, or as I like to say, the hopper.
The hopper.
Nice.
And it is the Giftinator. And similar to Chucker, this is a gifting Spocklet. And what it does that's different, though, is it loads all the inventory dynamically from the inventory in the game, so that as Zynga adds items that are giftable and removes items that are giftable, the bookmarklet or Spocklet will automatically be adjusted accordingly. So like a lot of the Spocklets that we're trying to write now, we're trying to make them more and more dynamic, so that this way, as Zynga makes changes, we hope we won't have to be touching them quite as much. So that's the big news. So
Awesome. A lot of news.
yeah.
And it's funny because they were all so busy. Like Pete was on the road and Martin's on vacation.
Yeah, which also to talk about that, with Martin being gone, the family stats that he loads up and then puts up on a static HTML site to show how you can compare yourself to other families and stuff like that hasn't been updated for a few days because he's been on the road. Like as always, lots of stuff going on and lots of little things here and there, patches and fixes, and I'm just wowed by the stuff that Martin and Ike are putting together, with like these stats and stuff like that. I mean, it really makes a difference in the game. And
does.
And from my personal perspective, I chatted earlier with the crew here that I got announced that I have to present tomorrow at a conference, our conference called Podstock, and I put in a presentation and they turned me down, and then I guess last minute they had a person that came in the wrong day and they won't be available, so they asked me if I'd present tomorrow. Well, what I'm presenting about is games like Mafia Wars and so on, and how they can be used in an educational environment. And so it's funny now with all the things that have been done statistically in Mafia Wars with stats history and stuff like that, it really goes to kind of the thread of my conversation with that group when I meet with them tomorrow, is that there's, a lot of room to do a lot of different things with the game.
Absolutely.
So,
That sounds neat. You should write a little post about it.
I might.
Okay.
And I can put it on my blog.
Yeah, I'll give you I'll feed you some information on it.
Well, you can just write it. And then
Yeah, she'll just post it.
Okay.
like when Ike does that, it's music to my ears. He's like, "Is it okay if I make a post about the plugins?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Please do.
Just do it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, and it's better coming from him because he, wrote half the stuff. And
Right. And you're familiar with it. Yeah.
where me, I'm just a user, so I'm not going to know how to explain the behind the scenes stuff.
Right.
I'd really like to now see some people write in their own plugins for some of our stuff, because that would be even cooler. And there's been
Do you have an
talk of it.
API that you're giving out?
Yeah, it's out there.
Is it already?
Yeah, it's open. I mean, no, we haven't written an official API, but it wouldn't be tough.
Come on, Zynga, do something.
Come on,
Yeah,
Zynga.
Not going to happen.
But there are a lot of players in the community that write scripts. I get a lot of emails from people asking me to put them in touch with you guys because they have an idea or they wrote something.
Right.
I get that too.
Well, and a
You
lot
must
of them
be
are
overwhelmed with that kind of thing.
Well, a lot of people write mods, which, that's how I got started, was I was just writing mods to other stuff. And, then eventually you start thinking, oh, well, what if I did this?